Well, we are in the midst of our second storm here, 2 weeks in a row, third storm of the season if you're keeping track. And we are still talking about blizzard conditions once the snow ends later tonight into the next couple of days, along with some brutal wind chills. We'll talk about that, and also glimmers of a warm-up in sight. Well, it was a cold one again this morning. Temperatures were well below zero. Low temperatures happened earlier in the evening yesterday in northwestern Minnesota and then went up, but 33 below zero around Crookston. And we saw temperatures in the 20s below zero across northeastern Minnesota. Orr was at 28 below. 8 below in the Twin Cities, our coldest yet this season. The blizzard warning has expanded. This takes effect tomorrow midday to the west, but in the evening here for the south and west metro into southeastern Minnesota, 6 p.m. Thursday into early on Christmas Eve morning. Now, so far we've been seeing snow not accumulating at really high ratios just yet because it's kind of on the too cold of side where we're getting these smaller plates, but not quite the big dendrites yet. But we're going to see some heavier snow showers through the afternoon and evening hours that we'll start to see that higher ratio snow. The sweet spot is right between about 0 and 10 degrees Fahrenheit, or 12 and 18 Celsius. So this is looking at temperatures in Celsius aloft from the weather balloon data from the Twin Cities this morning. You can see this is the area we want to be in. You got to push that snow growth layer into there, but then half the layer that the snow is growing in is also colder than that. So that's why it probably won't be 20 to 1 or more than 20 to 1 ratio, but a little bit less. And it makes a difference because if you look at just a 10 to 1 ratio, you get only a few inches of snow today. But if you look at a 22 to 1 ratio that some of the models are going, which is I think a little too high, you get more than double that, of course. So heaviest snow is going to be through the afternoon, early evening hours. We get kind of a grand finale, one last burst maybe around midnight tonight. And then that's going to be it for most of the accumulating snow. That wraps up here by early morning. You can see 5, 6 a.m. Still snowing in Wisconsin. But then that will rapidly diminish as well. Northeastern Minnesota will see the snow wind down a little longer through the morning hours. But the Twin Cities is going to be on the northern or southern edge rather of this little bit of a bullseye. We've been talking about sort of this secondary bullseye, one further to the east, much farther to the south and east, and then one that'll develop here across east central Minnesota from maybe St. Cloud through Cambridge, North Branch into northern Wisconsin. So Twin Cities amounts are going to vary from maybe just 4 or 5 inches in the southeastern suburbs, but we're going to see maybe some 7, 8 inches or more amounts in some of the northern suburbs and just north of the Twin Cities. And then the wind blows. So whether you get a few inches or you got 8, it's going to whip around here. We've got winds blowing, sustained wind speeds of 20 to 30 miles an hour in southwestern Minnesota tomorrow. Blizzard warning again takes effect midday. And then the gusts, of course, are going to be even higher. So this is looking at wind gusts tomorrow. We're looking at 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts and high gusts as well around Lake Superior. Twin Cities, probably 25, 30 miles an hour. It's enough. This is going to be a very fine snow that'll be easy to blow around. And wind chills tomorrow morning, around 30 below in the Twin Cities, 40s below zero in western and southwestern Minnesota. The winds increase more even Friday. Wind gusts of 40 to 45 miles an hour for basically everywhere except for the Twin Cities. Up the North Shore, even higher gusts, still potentially over 50 miles an hour. And then it's going to be brutally cold through the weekend. But next week, just wanted to end on this, a little glimmer of hope. Look at that. American model, at least, pushing temperatures into the 30s by Wednesday. European model doesn't quite buy it. It does so later. But either way, whether it's the middle or end of next week, it does look warmer eventually. But we've got several frigid days to get through first, and blizzard conditions for some of us at times Thursday and Friday. So today into tonight, it's the falling snow, slow going, but Thursday and Friday, it's the blowing snow. That's what makes the blizzard criteria, and will be equally or worse actually than the falling snow when you get into some of those open areas like 94 west of the Twin Cities or east of the Twin Cities into parts of Wisconsin, Highway 52 between the Twin Cities and Rochester, I-90, those areas that you have some open spaces. It is going to be pretty treacherous here. And of course, if anything happens, you don't want to get out of your car because these wind chills are just absolutely dangerous Thursday into Friday and early Saturday.